and their tongues stick out like, thanks, I'm here, and I'll see you later, bye, and back into this massive run, Good to see you, that type of thing, it's really wild. There is heaven for animals, but they don't need souls to get there. They're not doing anything wrong. And the heavens, those are so much fun and such a joy to visit. We have our heavens for humankind, and by humankind I'm speaking again of any human of any planet, irregardless, that's not a word I'm told. Regardless of, should be a word, it's a good one. Regardless of our looks and things like that. But in reality, each of us are nothing more than a spark of energy. What is that, a neuron? Neuron? One God thought. And believe it or not, we are inside the brain, if you want, the bone structure that holds the brain of the great and living Creator. We are not floating outside of His thoughts. We are literally inside His brain. Everything is inside His brain. And we have been given the gift to dream.
That's the second gift.
Huh?
You said there were two great gifts.
Yeah.
Will,
will,
the first one.
and the will to, and the ability to dream, make our own reality. The car didn't exist 300 years ago. Somebody started daydreaming, put it together, and now we drive it. Nothing that you're setting on the telephone and stuff existed X amount of years ago. It started from somebody daydreaming, doing a God thought, making something out of nothing, just because they were curious. They are the scriptures in Old and New Testament. Both say, Jesus himself in New Testament said, quoting the Old Testament, ye, meaning you or us, are as gods. Speaking to a mass, if you want to say speaking to one, you are as God. But the word God is a little g, not a big G. You are not the master God. Mm-hmm. Despite what some of these New Agers are trying to put across, they're so full of bullcrap, it's pathetic. Sorry for them, but you can't convince them any other way. But for that matter, I've got a very dear friend. Oh, I love her. Oh, gee, she is a sweetheart. Really good friend. And she's on this kick, I'm God, and so are you God, with the big G. And she says, Red Elk, why haven't, or what was it, something about that, she wanted to know something about the future. And I said, why are you asking me? And she says, well, you have a touch. And I says, well, I'm touching you. You tell me. You're the one that's claiming you're God. You tell me. And I says, by the way, when am I going to die, God? Are you going to die, God? Yeah, well, it fries their mind. But it doesn't matter. I walk out the door and 24 hours later, she's God again. So, what a dip. And then, man, frustrated as all get out. And she's as frustrated with me as I am with her. But we love each other dearly because we're both on the same course. Love, agape, or God love, which means it doesn't matter, son or daughter, what you do. I love you. But I don't like what you're doing when you're doing something wrong. Many of us have children and grandchildren, and we love them dearly. And some of them are so frustrating, turns to drugs, sex, God knows what. But did it stop us from loving them? No, it did not. And the Creator's that way with us. I look at the Creator different than almost anybody I know. He is not Creator. He is not God alone. He's Daddy. And I make him, in a sense, an earth-like daddy that does nothing wrong. You know, a perfect human daddy. I humanize God. And do you know what? He seems to like it. He seems to like it. And I get to get up to in his knees, in a sense, and cuddle next to the old fart. How about that? That's one that's going to blow people. He's Daddy. And when I get mad at Pop, boy, I rant and rave, and my wife jumps up and, oh, Red Elk, look what you're doing. You know, this is God you're talking to. And I said, Scripture says he knows my heart. So he knows everything about me. Why should I try to hide it and lie to it? So I really do rant and rave because, you know, Pop, he doesn't do everything I want him to do, and he doesn't do everything I tell him. He's a pretty smart old man. And, you know, when I calm down, then I apologize, but I get it off of my chest. I'm not going to lie to the guy.
Right. Not much point.
No, no, really. I mean, because it just makes it twofold worse, you know. Why put on a false face? If you're mad at Dad, rip it out. Maybe not as strongly as I do, but don't be afraid to rip it out. He's not going to say, oh, and shove his thumb on top of your head and grind you into the earth. He loves us. He's Dad. He's like the perfect human father. Perfect. And we've all had fathers, and some of them really terrible fathers. In my case, a pretty rough dad. Really bad dads that you almost despise, and some people do despise their mother or father. But there have been moments when you saw that spark of really loving you from mom and dad. Maybe the rest of the time, no. But there have been little sparks. Take that little spark of love from that person that you've grown to hate and cling to that little spark and put that spark to the Father and the Creator in the heavens, which is also in here, and expand it for all time. Looking at Dad, Creator, as the Dad that you saw in that spark, but not the rest of the Dad that you saw the rest of your life, Earth Dad. You know, that real love that Mom and Dad once in a while might have shown you. But make that a moment-by-moment experience because that's the way the Creator is. It's as simple as that. Really a cool dude. Really. And this Creator is so human that he's got a wild sense of humor. I mean, humor, and I'm dead. Whoa, I just can't emphasize it. One day, my wife and I, fairly recent married, a year and a half maybe, and smoking, you know, I used to smoke up to 5 into the 5th pack a day. And it was hurting us financially, even though I was making some good money. And it was bothering my wife, who at the time really felt that this was going to make you sick and all that jazz. And so I tried to quit. And gee, that was half the problem. Never try to do anything. Just do it. Right. When you try, you just keep walking over your own shoelaces and tripping face down. But nevertheless, I was pretty successful for close to 24 hours. And then I couldn't take it any longer. And I ran out of the place of work at my break, and boy, I sucked one down in less than 2.5 minutes. Oh, it tasted great. And then I got in and went back to work, but I